Hey guys, today I'm sharing our curriculum for the 2026-2027 school year. I'm going to start with my oldest, and that's what I have here. She's 9 years old, and then my youngest, and she's 7 years old, and finally our family subjects we do together. I'm going to quickly flip through as we go, but I have other videos that show more detail. If there's something you would like a closer look at, please let me know and I can make another video for that specifically. Let's get into it. So like I said, starting with my oldest, this is Christian Light Education, Language Arts 4. This is the teacher's guide. You can actually see exactly what is in each light unit. We're actually starting partway through. So she already did 401 and 402, so she's starting with 403 for this school year. This is what it looks like. It actually shows the pages for the light unit in the teacher's guide, and it walks you through what you are doing as well as the answers for the light unit. This is actually for the first quiz, which is lesson 5, lists the spelling words and a sentence to go with it, so you can actually give them the spelling quiz straight from here, which is also nice. Basically has the answers and can walk you through the lessons, but it is pretty independent at this point. So these are the light units. We are going to be doing 403 through 410, and they're just little packets. For us, they last a little over 3 weeks. I kind of estimate a month. Just depends on how many lessons there are. In here, there's 17. It talks about the golden rule, and that's the lesson. And then there's the we remember section down here. There's diagramming the sentences. There is penmanship, and it does have flip to page 59. Shows you the penmanship there, and that's for them to write in a separate notebook. I'm not planning on having her do that. I'm actually just going to give her a separate handwriting curriculum. With Christian Light, everything else is built in, so I'm not having to piece together a bunch of different language arts things for her anymore. It was very exhausting to do that, honestly. But there's spelling in here as well. As you can see down here, it'll say write spelling words in your notebook, then moves on to the next lesson. This is very straightforward and easy to use for both of us, honestly. There's always an extra activity, but you can see there's quiz 1 on lesson 5. Quiz 2 is lesson 10. Lesson 14 is a self-check, and there's 2 creative writing days built in, which is lesson 15 is creative writing day 1, and lesson 16 is creative writing day 2, and then lesson 17 is the light unit test, which has all the spelling words, and then there's a checklist, which I really like. Did you review all these things? Okay, you're ready for the test. So it has quiz 1, quiz 2, other, which I use that for self-check. I average them, and then the test, and then the final score. Over here, I will keep a separate score box for spelling. So quiz 1, I will also have a spelling 1 right there. Quiz 2, I have spelling 2. That's just something that I personally do. The test, just how this is laid out, the test is actually stapled in the center of the book. It's these pages right here, right in the center, so it's easy to pull out. And then in the very back, there's also a glossary and a reference page, and then the spelling word bookmarks. I usually leave this in here and I make a copy of it on cardstock so she can have that as a bookmark. That's a little bit more sturdy. Oh, and it's also in cursive on the back. Quiz 1 and quiz 2 are in the back here. I usually do pull them out, but I have been thinking about keeping them all together in the book and just having her skip those pages, like here in the middle, putting like skip, so she doesn't do the test when she's working on lesson 9. She should know to skip that, but I am thinking about keeping this together in the entire booklet, but I'm not sure yet. So we have all of those. These notebooks are from School Nest. I did get the 4th grade notebook to go with Language Arts 4. Even though I would consider her to be in 5th grade. That's just going to be her writing notebook. She can do all of her creative writing lists in here. That way it's all in one place. And then for the spelling notebook, same idea. Actually gonna skip all of the word list parts and go down here to just where she can practice them. There's 15, so I'm actually going to have her use one whole page and go 1 through 12. 13, 14, 15. For each lesson where she's supposed to copy it, she can do that on one page here. So I'll have her like write the lesson and then her 15 words. And then for the next lesson, she can flip the page and write it on the next page. So that is language arts. Moving on to reading, she is going to be doing reading 4, also from Christian Light Education. This is the teacher's guide, and they switched to 5 light units, so 401 through 405. The book Bridges Beyond. So this is very simple. It does have the pages from the light unit again with the answers. It's very straightforward, but I do like to have the answers readily available for me. Reading has 16 lessons or 16 days. Same setup, we have vocabulary, word focus, exploring the story. She will silently read, answer questions, read the Bible verse, talks about what the table of contents is, answer questions, and then move on to the next lesson. There's vocabulary crossword puzzle. It is very straightforward. Lesson 5 is also a quiz with an extra activity. The quizzes and the tests are in the center of this one. So you would pull all of this out. So we have quiz 1, quiz 2, the test, which is in the very center. It's actually folded, so it's one big page together. Quiz 2, this is quiz 1. So it's basically folded on itself. So they're connected, it's not separate pages divided like that. And then we have quiz 2 here with lesson 10. Moving through, lesson 15 is the self-check. This is the self-check. Lesson 16 is the light unit test, and it does the same thing. Quizzes, again, I do the self-check, which is my other or optional one. I don't do anything extra for that. Reading terms, a glossary as well. There's no extra moving parts for this. It's just the light unit and the book for them. So this is the reader of the table of contents. Bridges Beyond. There's still illustrations. I actually gave her the option to not do reading this year. She insisted that she wanted to do reading, which is actually great because it's not just reading. Like, she knows how to read, but there's a lot more involved than just being able to read. So that is reading 4. Next up for her, I have Math with Confidence 5. We just started part A. We did the first 2 units, and she's going to be starting with unit 3, least common multiples. There's activities A, B, and C is a game, and then multiply and adjust. What I love about Math with Confidence is it tells you the purpose of the lesson, the materials you need. It gives you step by step exactly what you need to do and what you need to say. The enrichment lessons at the end of each unit are optional, but we always do them. And at the back of every unit, we have the answer key, and there's 2 pages of answers for every lesson. So we have 3.1 practice, 3.1 review. So there's those 2, practice review for 3.2. Go all the way through the whole unit, and we can see 310 is the unit wrap up. And then we move on to the checkpoint before we move on to unit 4, which is about volume. So I really love that starting all the way in the beginning with the table of contents. I love that they have everything divided into units where they have a focus for each unit for a couple weeks. So they do have focus on one topic, but they still have review built in every day. So for example, we have lesson activities, which there's 2 people here showing that you do that together. And this is lesson 3.3. They move on to the practice for the day, which is 1 person here showing they can do that independently. And then review, again, 1 person, they can do that independently. And that's built into 1 day. Next lesson. Lesson activities, A, B, and C. Part C is usually a game, and we don't always do the game unless it's something that she needs to practice, but if she definitely has it down and she can flip right to the practice page and work on it, we do not always do the games. So then she does her practice page, and then we also have her review page. So some days she will do the review page first, and then later we will go back and do the lesson together, and then she'll do her practice. But that also helps divide up the day as well. Just depends on what's happening that day. So flip through. So we have 3.9, and then we have the wrap up, which is 3.10, and that's 2 pages. And then it moves right on to the next unit in her workbook. Part A is units 1 through 7. And then we have reference pages back here, and they are colored for each unit, which is really cool. And then part B, same thing. You can see how there's more purples and blues. And for part B, it's units 8 through 16, and then the reference pages. I do love how they have the colors. It's very fun. So they move on to a new unit, and it's usually we'll say slightly different color, but it does change as they work through the year. So that's Math with Confidence 5. And I am gonna have her do The Good and the Beautiful Handwriting Level 7. I believe this is the very last handwriting book that they have come out with, at least so far. They call this Mastering Cursive. So very simple, just copy the letter pairs. So they do have it in print here and they want them to write them in cursive. They still have coloring pictures, which is really cute. A lot of these things that are in print are going to be written in cursive. This font is a lot smaller than the size that she's used to. Writing some poems, writing some Bible verses here. And this one's in cursive and alphabetical order. Write the names for different types of nautical knots. And then here she's able to choose the correct homophones and fill in the blanks with the words of her choice. It just depends who's whose. And there's evaluations throughout too to watch write things, and then it still has some open-ended drawings. So she can draw a scene that includes a river, but there are also some step-by-step, draw a bird flying, use colored pencils to add details, and to complete the scene. And then she can still be creative there too. These pictures are a lot more detailed, but they're so pretty. Handwriting 7. That's it for my oldest. Moving on to my youngest. I feel like my stack for my youngest is a lot larger just because of the amount of light units and reading books that she has. I just feel like it's a lot, but it's what we have. So she is going to be doing Christian Light Education, Language Arts 2, and these are the light units. They updated their covers. It's 201 through 210, and I know that these take roughly a month to complete, so I don't know if we're gonna completely finish like the last few. We'll see how far we get. We're gonna start working through at 201. This is the same I showed you in Language Arts 4, the same exact setup. It shows you little pictures of the light unit itself. It has the same thing once we get to lesson 5 with the quiz. Same thing with spelling words for section 1, and then move on to section 2. So it is the exact same setup as I've used in the past, as well as I just showed you with Language Arts 4. Here's a look inside the light unit. This is light unit 201. We have 3 sections. So here's where I say quiz 1 is lesson 5, quiz 2 is lesson 10, self-check, and then a test. She also has creative writing here. This box is where she's going to be learning something new, underlining the correct answer. I don't know what it is. I have issues when they either underline or circle. Sometimes they do the opposite of what it tells them, and it drives me crazy. Am I the only one that deals with that? I know I can't be. It's something so simple. I'm like, just read it. So underline the correct answer, and it will actually tell you usually in like the very beginning. But this is kind of breaking down the light unit, which is great. Write your name, spelling, double consonant spelling words, and then write your spelling words on another paper. Like I showed you, this is set up the exact same way. I'm not going to flip through every little thing. Again, the School Nest notebook, this is her spelling notebook. She's going to have a School Nest notebook as well for her writing, but this is the spelling one that I grabbed. Same thing, she's going to write her spelling words on here, and that's in a separate notebook. It's a lot easier than having separate pieces of paper flying around or different spiral notebooks. I really like how clean this notebook is. And I have thought about putting a spiral on this, but I'm not sure if I really want to pull it apart and do that because I like how clean this is, but I'm not sure. Right now I like it the way it is. All right, that's Language Arts. Christian Light Education, Reading 2, and it is 201 through 210. So there's 10 light units for this. The first book, it actually says book 1 here, is Helping Hands. So that's this one here. So the first, we'll say first half of the year, she's going to be reading this book. And this is the teacher's guide that goes along with that. It is the same exact setup, you guys. Little pictures of the actual light unit. And then there's 5 light units. So 201 through 205 for the first reader, Helping Hands. I'm still getting used to the cover update, how they change the covers. There's 16, we'll call them days or lessons. They're reading the story. These are very straightforward. Follows directions, very important skill. In this box, draw a picture of a church. Draw a tree on the left side of the church. Like, I love how they give them little check boxes too. That helps me. I'm like, don't check it until you've done it. Read the Bible verse to yourself 3 times. Circle the correct word for each picture. And this is getting ready for quiz 1. The quizzes and the tests are in the center of this book as well. Literally the exact same thing, just with a second reader. There's definitely some pretty illustrations in here as well. That's Happy Hearts. Same thing with the teacher's guide and the light units 206 through 210. So that's just the second half of the year for reading 2. I wasn't even going to have her do Explode the Code this year, and she insisted. She's like, it is so much fun. So Explode the Code 3, she just really has a lot of fun doing them, and there's some really funny things in here, like, can a twig speak? Will a sheep sweep the path? Like, they just make her laugh. Can a jeep fly? Like, it's just funny. Even some of these, the pup will smile at lunch, the pup swims to lunch, and she has to look at the picture and see which one it is, and then she thinks it's cute that the pup is smiling. So really cute things like that, I think, is why she likes it. It's the most basic workbook, but she enjoys it. So we're doing Explode the Code 3 with her. And this year, she's moving on to 3rd grade Math with Confidence. This is also set up the same way as other grade levels of Math with Confidence. There's 16 units. Every unit is broken down into a topic that is focused on for a few weeks, which is my favorite part. Again, they still incorporate review, lesson activities, practice, review. We have a focus, but then we have a review on things. It's such a simple concept, but it is my favorite. Unit wrap-ups as well, moving on to the next unit. So I love Math with Confidence. I have other videos where I talked about switching to Math with Confidence, and it was a very good move for us. So that is Math with Confidence 3. She is going to be introduced to cursive this year. This is the Good and the Beautiful Introduction to Cursive, level 3. So this is her handwriting. There's some print in here as well, but most of it is cursive. My favorite part, you can see it's by rainbow colored dots, and then the X is lift pencil. So you can see, we'll look at the S. So you can see where it's red, come up to the orange, yellow, green, blue. Red, orange, yellow, that's an X, so you lift your pencil up, green, blue. The rainbow dots on these pages definitely helped my oldest when she first learned cursive. It is so cute and simple, but at the same time, it really breaks down cursive, so it's not overwhelming. So this page, copy the scripture, copy and color the hearts, and then trace the uppercase cursive letters and write them as many times as it will fit. It is such a cute handwriting book. That's why I ended up getting all of the digital copies and printing them, because I want to use them more than once. Yeah, this is my second time using level 3. Draw red apples in the tree and then color the tree. Draw a planet for the rocket ship to land on and then color the picture. Like, these little drawings are so creative. Draw the ground beneath the plants, including rocks and tunnels. Like, it is just adorable. So we're still doing the handwriting practice, and then she's tracing a poem, and then she has a little maze. Color the cupcake, and then draw and color your own. Handwriting level 3, Introduction to Cursive. All right, and moving on to family subjects, this is what we are going to be using again for Bible. This is GPS, or God's Plan in Scripture, by Ascension Press. This will actually be our second time going through it. My youngest do the beginner, and my oldest do the intermediate workbook this time. It's the same exact information, it's just there's more writing. It's more in depth for the intermediate. And the beginner, it is more simple and a lot more coloring for the extra activity. Filling in the blanks, coloring the tribes. Like, it's just, the workbook is more simple, but we are still reading through the storybook together. So, and it breaks down a lot of what do you think. There's reading checklist, the teacher's guide. So we have, this is like if you're teaching a class, which I'm not, obviously. So I don't always do these extra activities because I'm not teaching a class. I don't run and grab snacks. I don't do a play, but it does also have the answer keys for, you can see beginner, and then for intermediate. And then there's also advanced. This breaks it down for all of the workbooks and then moves on to the next lesson. So that's the teacher's guide. So this is like a whole program set. Teacher's guide, storybook, workbooks, depending on the level of the student. And then I did actually get the large print, the Great Adventure Bible. I love large print, but this was also easy for the girls as well. That is what I have for Bible this year, GPS. And the girls really love it. The first year we did it 2 years ago, They actually get really excited and they yell, GPS, GPS. So I know that they love this. And this is for 24 weeks. I just had to check chapter 24. So 24 weeks. I will probably add in some not consumed Bible studies as well. I just am not sure which ones I'm going to do yet, but that's the plan. Not consumed. I've showed you guys those a bunch of times. This is something new. I mentioned changing up science, and I wasn't sure about doing an online course for science, but I decided to go ahead and dive in and do it. This is Science Shepherd Earth Science. I did go with level A. I got 2 level A workbooks for them, and then the answer key. This is an online course. There's no textbook, just these workbooks to go with the online content. And the videos are just a few minutes long every day, or every class they call it. I have not personally pulled up the videos yet. I just saw some previews. After we're into it, if it's something that makes sense to make a video on to show you guys how it works, I will definitely do that. But right now, this is my first look inside, so we're looking at this together for the first time. So class 1, Introduction to Earth Science. Oh, we have some scripture. O Lord, how manifold are your works. In wisdom you have made them all. The earth is full of your possessions. Psalm 104:24. I'm sure that this goes along with the video. And then there's a puzzle. So we're just matching. In class 2. Okay, this would not take very long for them to do. I love that they have scripture every day at the top. We might have to have morning work and have this built into morning work because it just seems so quick and simple. They can be used during or after watching the video, and they can rewatch lessons if necessary. 121 classes, so I'm gonna have to divide that up and see how many days a week we're going to do this. We're probably going to do this either first thing together or at the end of the day together. First thing kind of makes sense to me in my head right now, but we're gonna see how that goes. But this is brand new to us and I'm actually really excited about it. And I did the same level because I wanted everything to be the same. I didn't want to have 2 different workbook levels and 2 different answer keys. I wanted it all to be the same. That's why I went with level A. I don't have anything to show you for this, but we are going to be continuing nutrition and doing family meal prep together. So that's not necessarily a curriculum, even though I would love to find an actual nutrition curriculum. History. We are combining American Girl History from Little School of Smiths and our Star Spangled Story. We are still on part 1. You can see kind of where we are, which is crazy. I was originally planning on this taking maybe 3 years, but it's looking more like 4, honestly. I'm not mad about it because the girls love it. We are going to be continuing both. We're just working our way through. We're on Unit 12, Lesson 34 in our Star Spangled Story. We were only doing science and history 2 or 3 times a week. That had a lot to do with how far we got. There's a little workbook and everything for it. If you want to see more about these, I will link that video down below for you guys on how I combine them together and switch back and forth. This is honestly just a really pretty book that we got from DK, and I'm just going to talk about ballet and dance while you look at this book. It's actually a really pretty book. I love it. But anyway, it's like a coffee table book. The girls have been loving dance and they are going to be doing ballet tech over the summer. Next year, they're planning on doing ballet and hip hop, maybe lyrical as well. We're going to see what the schedule looks like, but they are loving dance and we all actually love this book. I will link this below for you guys. It is just beautiful. And then we also have Night Zookeeper. It is just something that we have on their iPads that they do every once in a while. It's not anything that I track or schedule. It's just something that I have for fun whenever they want to do it. I think that is everything for our curriculum for the 2026-2027 school year. This is what I'm planning to use this year. I know things change, but I really tried to keep it simple. I hope this was helpful and thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment any questions and the curriculum you are most excited about this year. I love to hear from y'all and I'll see you soon. Bye.